Good morning. Hey, it's Carrie from down in Texas, my fellow conservatives. All right, number 13 today. Let's talk about number 13, and it's a really scary one. This is the 13th failed Harris policy administration crisis since she's been in office. And this is the escalating tension around the world. In Ukraine, in the Middle East, the threat of violence everywhere in the world is out of control. And the scary part about this is that she has no experience, none. Harris has no international experience dealing with these tyrants. And we all know when there's a bully on the block, the only way to get a bully under control is to have strength yourself. She doesn't do that. All she does is giggle. I have never seen her in a serious conversation about anything, not even on her presidential debates back in 2020, which, by the way, she never won one vote. She was so unpopular then, she didn't even get one vote, so she had to withdraw. The only reason she's in this position right now is because she is a female who has colored skin. And Joe Biden knew that he needed to have that in order to have a prayer to win the election, which he didn't win. We all know that. They stole it. She is in this position because of that. She has no skills. She has no diplomatic experience whatsoever. There is no way she's going to be able to stand with Putin and Xi Jinping, whatever his name is, the Chinese tyrant. We cannot afford to have a weak president. And she is. There's two raging wars right now. And all of the scholars, all of the generals, all of the people that understand the conflict have all said this would not be happening if Trump was still in office. Because he leads by strength. He says, oh, don't you dare, because if you dare, you know what's coming, and he will back it up. So what? She's a prosecutor. So what? That record does not translate to international relations with tyrants. I'm sorry. There was a video she did yesterday talking about the power of her pen and how she could change somebody's life with just a flick of her pen. That's how much she cares about human life. She doesn't. This lady destroyed San Francisco. She's part of the reason California is in such terrible shape. The leftist policies are going to sink that state. And that's an example of what's going to happen to the rest of this country. Look at Minnesota, her vice presidential pick. He is hated in Minnesota. He let the cities burn. His wife laughed about it, and he's lied about his military record. So you're going to have somebody as a vice president who's lied about their military record, who left his other fellow soldiers, just left them, and you're gonna make this vice president. Oh yeah, that's going to really intimidate world leaders, isn't it? She doesn't have any. She has nobody around her that has the skill set to deal with these tyrannical people in the world that, if we are not careful, are going to plunge us into World War III. And that will be the end of all of us. She just doesn't have the skill set. She just doesn't. And these raging conflicts are part of the unbelievably failed diplomatic relations from this current administration. And I'm so sorry, Harris, you do not now get to just divorce yourself from 4 failed years. You just don't. You were the final vote in the Senate. That's on you. That's record. You don't just get to now wave your pen and use your politically motivated, paid for news media, and just wipe it all away. Doesn't work like that. The people you put in prison, they don't just get to wipe away their record because they want to, better themselves. They want to go after even a job. She is not qualified to be president of the United States. She does not have the skill set to work with and prevent America from being dragged into a world war. She doesn't. She doesn't have that skill set. She doesn't have any skill set to be sitting in the White House. Sorry, that is the truth of the situation. And her vice president, that man is just unbelievable what he has done and his record. He does not take care of his own people in the state of Minnesota. Do you know more people leave Minnesota every day than any other state in the United States because of his leadership? What does that tell you? It tells you a lot that he is not a good leader. You put the two of them together, compare Minnesota and California, you really want those two people running this country? You really think those two people can stop the United States from getting into a war? Look at the withdrawal from Afghanistan and the absolute debacle of that, of which, yes ma'am, you're a part of it. You have the final vote in the Senate. That's on you. She has the final vote in the Senate for all of these things. So she just doesn't get to use her little pen and erase it because she wants to be president of the United States. It doesn't work that way for the average American, and it doesn't work that way for her. She is not qualified. This is number 13 of her failed policies, and this is a big one. If we don't want to be in a world war, we cannot put her in the White House. She does not have what it takes to deal with China and Russia and Iran. She just doesn't. And it'll be catastrophe if it happens. Make sure you get this out to all of your social media channels and keep posting. We got to keep posting. If you're on all social media channels, post your videos every day, over and over again until we get to the election, so we can make sure that there is absolutely no way they can steal this election. And if you're in a state that you can go vote early, go vote early. Get it in, get it done, to prevent there from being any question about what goes on in the 12th hour of this election, like it happened last time, where millions and millions of votes were just all of a sudden, remarkably, lost or changed. We cannot allow that to happen again. It's up to us to continue to spread the word so we can make sure Donald Trump gets reelected in November. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. This is Carrie from Texas.